All right, now we're live, and I'm here with Hilary McKie, who has been with us for a few months now, but also we've known each other for how many years has it been?
I think it's going on 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah?
I haven't kept track. I don't know when I started with Alt Leather. I was
Do you
trying to
know-
trace it back.
You don't remember which year it was?
I think it was end of 2022.
End of 2022?
No. Maybe 2023. I need to go back into my calendar.
Yeah. So it's been a couple years, and since then you've also worked a little bit with some other entrepreneurs. I think Jonathan Upfall, who's one of our members here, were you doing polymer work for him?
Yeah, I was doing polymer work with him pretty early on, kind of in his journey for that project. So looking at nanoparticles for polymer coatings of solar panels.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
had a bit
then
of fun.
all while doing that, you were also studying. You still are studying at uni.
Yeah, still studying, doing my Masters of Biomedical Engineering.
That's really cool. So how do you manage study and this? Like, how have you found that whole process?
I mean, I think personally, I find that I thrive better when I'm busy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, I do better when I'm busy. So for me, it's almost more challenging when I don't have that much to do with myself. But I think a real priority for me has been to not just do uni, to get some practical experience out in the world, because I feel like it's very easy to get bogged down in just the theory, but not actually think about the practice.
Mm-hmm.
That's been a real emphasis for me.
And so that practice, like, what was, I guess, the transition point for you where you were studying and then suddenly were like, I want to go get more theory? Because hands-on time, because a lot of people would probably wait until the end of their degree. They might go and do, a master's or a postdoc or something like that. What kind of drove you to look out? Like, how did that all work out?
I think, to be honest, so I started my uni in 2020, right when COVID hit, which meant that I spent basically the first 2 years staring at a computer screen, learning all this amazing, super interesting stuff. But I found it really hard to feel passionate about it just because of the delivery. So when everything opened back up and I was able to come back down to Melbourne and continue studying in person, I think having those 2 years where I almost felt like a little bit disconnected to what I was learning. Because when I came out of high school, obviously you're so excited, ready to go into the world, take on the world,
save everyone,
do the uni thing, but that kind of got pushed to the wayside with COVID. So I think that made me pursue more of that external connection just beyond the classroom a bit more and try and throw myself more into the uni life, but then also seeking out those outside opportunities.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess for the people that are listening, the whole point of us doing this podcast and hopefully going to run some more of these sessions is to explore, I guess, the different pathways that students such as yourself have taken to the agency, I guess, you guys are displaying and going out to find these opportunities and to, I guess, go in a lot of ways above and beyond, the normal education pathway, but really finding opportunities to apply this education and some of the benefits of what that means for you in the long term as well as in the present. But going back to, I guess, your uni life, when you say really partaking in uni life, what does that mean? And what did you think, I guess, on entering uni that was going to look like?
I think on entering uni, my perspective, I guess, before I even really started was for that immediate uni community and that immediate network of people in the same industry as what I'm in. But I think with COVID, that didn't really manifest itself. And so when everything opened up again, I was like, okay, I think I need to actually put more effort into finding that. I think I need to go and seek out some student clubs or some external opportunities so I can try and build that network now, because my uni years are running out. I feel like I haven't maximized them.
My life is ending.
So I'm like, oh, I can't really leave uni without a network to show for it. So for me, there was a semester at the end of my bachelor where I was just taking one subject because I didn't want to do a full gap semester. But I kind of made a deal with myself with like, okay, if I'm just doing one subject, I've got a very light course load, then that means I'm throwing myself into all of the extracurriculars that I can. And I think that was one of the best decisions I've made in my uni life. In that semester, I joined MBSI, so the Melbourne Bioinnovation Student Initiative. I think I got that right.
I think you did too.
Yeah.
We have a coffee cup here, and I think that's what it says. Yeah.
And so I joined one of the project teams there, which is Project Cersei, which is a BCI wheelchair. And actually through the connections I made at MBSI is what connected me into CoLabs and to Alt Leather and to this whole ecosystem. Looking back with hindsight, I can see how all of the connections that I made through that club have like woven themselves through into where I am now. I'm re-meeting people that I met 2-3 years ago just from that one uni club.
That's crazy. It's funny, you were mentioning, and you kind of talking about community around the club, but also the networks. And it sounds like you were adamant about having a network when you were leaving uni. Can you, why were you so, why was that such a big pull for you?
I think for me, because I'm from Brisbane, so I came down to Melbourne not knowing anyone. I don't have any family down here. So building up a life for myself here, kind of a network of amazing friends, but then also setting myself up well for once I do leave uni was really important. And I think you hear from alumni who come and speak around their time at uni, and the common thread that I see is everyone talks about, uni were the best years. All the connections I made here were lifelong connections that have really just helped me through as I've progressed in my career. And you don't know how the person that you meet in that one subject in undergrad might just come back at another stage in your life and be one of the most important connections that you've made. I think it's a real resource. That network of people is a real resource just beyond the resources that you get in the classroom. Yeah,
no, absolutely agree. A lot of what we do is, networking and community building.
Yeah.
So it's great to hear that students are thinking about that as well, because I often look back and, if I had my time again at uni, I would have probably approached it completely different. And I'd actually be interested to hear your insights as far as advice you might have for other people that are interested in networking. You spoke about clubs. Are there any clubs that you want to give a shout out to, or any event groups or anything like that at uni?
Yeah, I'll certainly. Well, I've retired now, but I was the former vice president of
retired.
a former vice president of the Biomedical Engineering Society, or MUBS, at Uni Melb. So I'll give a great shout out to them. I think that club does a really great job of fostering community within the cohort. Definitely give them their props. And then obviously MBSI, who I've already shouted out. I think they're an amazing network. And it's just full of passionate people who are just wanting to give things a crack, which I think is really just a great environment to be around. As they say, it's always, you know, you're in the right room when you're in not the smartest person in the room. And I definitely felt that
100%.
way. So yeah, it helps you to contextualize what you're learning at uni and how you can apply it, and also just thinking bigger in general.
We don't get a lot of opportunities, I think, to actually apply that knowledge that we're getting at uni. So it's great to hear that MBSI is offering that. And MOOBs, was it as well?
MOOBs, yeah, MOOBs.
And so through these clubs, you actually found an opportunity to go a little bit further and apply this as part of a startup.
Yeah. So I joined Alt Leather and worked with them as a research assistant / intern for a while. And that was kind of my first foray into industry, really. And that was a really unique experience, and I learned a lot from that. I think particularly around it being a startup and what it's like to work within a startup. I think it's quite unique compared to a larger, more established company in terms of the skill sets that you have to develop and the ways of approaching work, which are slightly different.
And then when you were coming into uni, did you imagine you were going to be working for a startup while at uni? Is that always something that you wanted to do? Like you knew you were going to go in and maybe get an industry-based job on the side, or?
Yeah, I think when I started uni, I didn't really know what the future looks like for me. But I think that I kind of found my path along the way. But yeah, I think a really core focus for me was not just walking away from uni with just a piece of paper to show for it. I think you need some sort of other differentiating attributes. I think especially developing those soft skills, particularly in biomedical engineering. I think it's a discipline where those soft skills are really important because you're talking with clinicians and other stakeholders. Maybe you're a little bit more people-facing than maybe other disciplines of engineering. So, that was really important.
Yeah, it definitely is. And kudos to you for having that, I guess, foresight. Because I think generally the way we see it, at least rolling out, is, people will go for that piece of paper or they'll get to the end and then start looking for work. And it's really tough. Like if you can get a foot in the door sooner, generally goes a long way with future career prospects, 100%. So,
yeah, definitely.
All right, so you knew you were going to kind of go in and do more than just go after your degree at the end of the term, and so now you were working with Alt Leather. How, like, what were so industry is kind of sometimes seen as that thing you do later in life, but here you are now, in industry technically, at the forefront of a particular field. You are studying biomedical engineering, and Alt Leather is in, what do they do?
So Alt Leather makes plant-based leather. So it's not technically biomedical engineering, but I think what drew me to it was the polymer chemistry. I'm quite interested in biomaterials, but then also that sustainability focus was also a really strong draw for me. Just the mission and the ethos really resonated. And I think it was really fulfilling to work towards something that will have a positive impact. And I think the common thread between that sustainability lens, but then also biomedical engineering, and what drew me to that is that direct benefit, I guess you see. For biomedical engineering, it's a direct patient benefit. So you're working on things that directly help humans be healthier and happier. But then at Alt Leather, it's like, we're driving this impact to make more sustainable options because our planet needs them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it does. So did you find that opportunity through the club, or?
Yeah, so I Mentioned to Betty, the CEO of MBSI at the time, that I was interested in research opportunities or industry experience. And if you know Betty, you know that she's very well connected.
Yeah, shout out to Betty. Betty Zhang from Boson VC.
Yeah. So she connected me in with Tina. And yeah, I had a chat and applied with them, and then they took me on. So that's kind of where it all began. So yeah, thanks to Betty.
Yeah, thanks, Betty. That's how we met. And then, so here you are now in a startup. How is that? What's that like transitioning into a startup as a student?
Yeah, I think it's certainly different. I think with what I've learnt the most working with startups is that having that clarity of, okay, this is our mission, this is our long-term goal, is really important, because I think sometimes the day-to-day gets a little bit chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you resonate with that. Yeah. But yeah, just having that common thread of, okay, this is our mission, like this is what we're working towards. These are the big picture long-term goals, and using that to help you decide on what is the most important to work on. Today.
Yeah.
Because you can get bogged down in the day-to-day and the small random tasks that are thrown at you. But I think at the end of the day, it's about the mission. And so being able to keep that at the forefront is really important.
So would you call that like project management, or what would you kind of, what would you
Yeah, I think it's project management skills. I think it's also prioritization skills.
Yeah.
I think especially because you're not necessarily as guided as maybe another role would be. You need to take that initiative to know, okay, this needs to be done. You aren't just handed tasks on a platter to complete. So yeah, being able to see the big picture and not get too bogged down in the minutia is important. So I think developing that
the agency
has been a really big thing for me, and I can kind of see it in the way I approach things, and also in my self-confidence and my ability to know that I can get stuff done.
And we really appreciate that about you as well. I mean, being able to know that you can put someone into a situation where we don't have a defined SOP or process, and that you're willing to push things to a certain point and then check in. Like that's a really valuable skill, to a trait to find in someone. So do you think that was something that was always innate in you, or something that was maybe cultivated later, or?
I don't know. I feel like maybe a part of it was innate, or the way I was raised. I don't know. But it's definitely been fostered.
Cool.
In me. And I think also what I've learnt is that like people and their experience is such a strong resource. So I was really lucky to work with Twine at Leather, and he is amazing, and he's helped guide me.
Good old Uncle Twine.
Yeah, lots of words of wisdom. So yeah, using people as a resource, because obviously they've been where I am now. They've seen it all. So yeah, asking the stupid questions is sometimes the best idea.
It's an interesting one. People always say there are no stupid questions. I'm not here to challenge that at all, but I think internally we still sometimes, don't want to ask questions. Were you always kind of a curious person? I imagine you were.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what drew me to STEM field. I feel like that that curiosity about the world and the way things work and interact with each other. I think sometimes the stupid questions can open the door to rethinking the way you do things.
Yeah.
Like why are we doing things this way? What's the purpose?
From what it sounds like, you're saying like challenging assumptions. And I think, the questions that we don't ask become assumptions.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's a really good point. So looking forward now, so you did your time with Alt Leather. Actually, before we jump forward, is there anything that you would sort of say to other students about, because I think what we touched on earlier is so important, like not waiting until the end of your degree to start looking for work or looking for opportunities or extracurriculars. And I mean, you were studying in one particular unit, but found, an interest and some fun in a completely different area, still STEM, but not necessarily within that biomedical application. Obviously, I guess what you've learned could potentially go into that. But I imagine a lot of students do look specifically for areas that are like complementary to or like directly aligned to their unit. Is that?
Yeah, in general. But I think it's all experience. And I can really pinpoint the different things that I've learnt from different roles. Even like I was working hospitality, and I think just that customer service and talking to people day in, day out, even that has been so beneficial.
I've seen it firsthand. People walk into the door and you just don't hesitate to that.
So I don't discriminate. I think it's all experience and it's all learnings. But I think, figuring out what are the common threads or the things that you resonate with, I feel like is important. And maybe identifying, okay, what are your skill gaps, or what are the things that you still find challenging, and how can you work on those? How can you find opportunities that maybe push you and challenge you?
That's a lot of awareness,
in those ways.
Hilary. Not many people. I even have trouble acknowledging my gaps, but that's a really cool thing to hear you say. So you sort of, it sounds like you're almost like pushing into your discomfort as areas of growth.
Yeah. I think like you never stop learning. And there's always things you can improve on. I think, just for me, when I started uni, I was probably a bit shy. And so I think that's something I've tried to develop, is that ability to talk to people and like networking opportunities, just be able to go up to the person and start a conversation. I think that was something that I really found challenging to start off with, but I think that I've come a long way with that. So I don't really know how to end that thought, but
it's okay.
Yeah.
But I guess what we were talking about as well as the, where were we? So as far as the, yes. So other students looking at potentially, well, maybe curious, not even potentially looking, maybe like, oh, that's something I could do. Would you have anything to say to them about like when to start looking, or what to help them? What could they do to help them kind of have a better idea of where to look?
I don't think, in terms of the when, I think it's never too early. I think if I had my time again, I would have started like day one of uni.
Yeah. That's how I think about it too.
Yeah. So it's never too early. I think just throwing yourself into things, even if you might not necessarily feel super comfortable or feel like you're the right person or have the right skills at that point in time, is really a big thing. I think also sometimes you feel that sense of imposter syndrome.
It never goes away.
It never goes away. So you just have to work with it and roll past it, and just be content in your knowledge that you can figure it out as you go. So my advice to students is just throw yourself into things, get involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. And then now as well, sounds like you kind of have the bug for entrepreneurship. You're working on your own startup.
Yeah, ish. So it's like I'm doing a course at the moment called Biodesign Innovation, which has been running for 10 years at the University of Melbourne. It's actually part of the reason that I chose to come to Melbourne and do the course that I am, is because I came to the open day and I saw the projects and I was just like, wow, I can see. I feel like sometimes it's hard to understand what you might actually be working on when you're just looking at, oh, maybe I'll be a mechanical engineer, or maybe I'll go and do electrical engineering. But for me, seeing the projects, seeing the direct impact was really inspiring. And so, that course that I'm doing at the moment, what's come out of that is our own startup. So I'm a co-founder. It feels strange to say that, but
Congratulations.
co-founder. So we're working on pelvic organ prolapse for postpartum women, which is a really massive problem. I didn't realize that it was such a big problem until I started looking into it. That's been really interesting to go through that in kind of a more structured manner through the course, go through that process.
And the course, is that something that, how do you apply to the course? Is that something that your yearly intake, so it's a full year, or how long does the course run for?
So it's for biomedical engineering master's students. You can do it instead of a capstone as like a final year project, and it's you have to apply to do it.
And they're not.
Yeah.
And so is this the one that you pitched recently as well?
Yeah, I did pitch recently.
And what happened?
For it. It went well. I won some money for our team. Well, it was it was a team effort because we won one of the December awards, which is in recognition of a strong business model. So
excellent.
Well done to our team and to our MBAs on our team.
Do you guys have a team name, or is it?
Yeah, we do. It's Encompass Medical.
Very cool. Very cool. Well done, Encompass. All right. So you've kind of taken us through, I guess, this history of like, going to uni. Did you know? I question now. Did you know that you wanted to do your own invention early on? Is that something that you always thought about, or?
No, definitely not. I just thought I would go to uni and then I would get a job in industry and I'd work there and that would be it. Yeah. But I think as I got my eyes open to the startup sphere a bit when I joined Alt Leather, joined CoLabs, joined MBSI. So it's not something I really imagined for myself, but it's been a really great journey and a bit of a roller coaster. And I think it's also, you find out how much there is to know. That's what I found out from this course, is that, oh my gosh, there's so many things to consider. And it's so complicated, but just trying to synthesize that into a plan and figuring things out on the way. Yeah,
that's so basically there is no, you came in without a clear sort of like journey ahead. You knew this is where you needed to go. You had your interests. You leaned into your discomforts. And then ultimately, though, you sort of figured it out on the way.
Yeah.
And so that, not having, I think a lot of us think we have to have it like figured out from the get-go. But a lot of what startups are and entrepreneurship is like, you have that kind of one step in front of the other approach to developing things, whether it be your life, your relationships. You don't have to always have it all mapped out from the start.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Any final things you want to say to any students that are sort of, anything we haven't covered?
I think don't get too bogged down in the coursework. I think try and form that community. I think that has been the greatest thing for me, is that network of friends who understand it. They're going through it. They know the stress. They know, they understand when it gets to exam period, you're all feeling that same stress. So just having those people to lean on and empathize with and just like lighten up.
Yeah.
Lighten up the day when you're like, oh, I really have to do this assignment. It's due tonight.
You still have to do the assignment.
Still have to do the
You still have to
assignment,
do
but
it,
it just makes it a little bit easier.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. And yeah, we'll see how this turns out. But thanks again for sharing your past, present, I guess a little bit of your future. And for anybody listening, if you want to get in touch with Hilary, we'll put some details, I guess, in the video or the podcast. I'm not really sure what this is going to be. But final, I guess, just reminders. So there's Moobs.
Moobs, yes.
Moobs. Moobs?
No, Mubes.
Moobs. Gotcha. And then there's MBSI, all other, and then Eclipse. Was it Compass?
Encompass Medical.
Encompass Medical. Awesome. Thanks, Hilary.
No worries. Thank you.
There we go. Hey, perfect. 34 minutes.